Right then, gents, we're going to head back over to London Stadium because we actually have Bukayo Saka to get his reaction for his goals and also that victory.
Bukayo, well done. Great performance overall, but how important were those first 35 minutes? Because it was such a strong start from Arsenal.
Yeah, it was a very, very strong start, and we remember we played similar like this last year, so we knew we wanted to start strong, and we definitely did that.
And before I come into your goal, I want to talk about your assists. You reached 10 assists this season, more than last season. How has it been for you to develop this part of your game?
Well, I'm just constantly looking to improve and create and score goals for this team. And yeah, I'm doing that right now, and I'm enjoying my football. I'm playing with confidence, so I want to continue like this.
How much have you been enjoying? Because, of course, you're an attacking player. Of course, you prefer to score goals. But how much pleasure are you taking from these assists?
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of pleasure. I like to score and create, but the biggest pleasure is winning and getting 3 points on the board. So I'm very happy today.
And talking about assists, it was a nice moment when you gave the ball to Odegaard for his penalty, and then he gave it back to you. How was that moment?
No, it was nice. Martin's a top player. He's been playing so good since he's come back, and he wanted to take the penalty to score today, and I'm more than happy to give him the ball because he always gives me the ball. So we have a good connection, and like I said, let's just keep this form going.
Yes, the connection is on and off the pitch then.
Yeah, on and off the pitch, yeah.
And for your goal, of course, it is a priority for you to score goals, but how have you been feeling with the movements the team has been making and the connections, the link-ups back with Odegaard?
Yeah, I think definitely the last 3 games we've been back to our best, back to our best way of playing. We're fluid, we're dynamic, and you can see the movements, the rotations, everything looks good. So we need to continue like this. You know, we played 3 good games, but we know in this league it's not enough. We have a big game on Wednesday, Manchester United, so we're going to be ready for that and look to do the same thing.
Well done then. You are player of the match. Congratulations, Bukayo.
Thank you very much.
Many thanks to Bukayo Saka, Arsenal star boy and the first player to reach 10 assists in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, constantly chasing record. Sharpie, is he the most important Arsenal player at this moment?
Well, I think the partnership between him and Odegaard is the most important. I don't think Saka is... I don't think he gets the service and the connection when Odegaard's not playing. I think between the two of them, they cause troubles for every team. And he's just getting better and better. His consistency as a winger, it's really difficult to be consistent. And Saka just produces something magical every week.
Is that perhaps the more underrated aspect of his game? First of all, his consistency, but also his availability as well, to always, with his fitness record for Arsenal.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're a top player, you need to be on the pitch, and Saka invariably is fit. And that's partly credit to him because he's very shrewd. You know, he sees a challenge coming, he gets out of the way of the challenge, he looks after himself on the park. And of course, as all players do these days, they have to look after themselves generally, you know, be it sleep, be it recovery, be it, you know, your prehab, your rehab and everything that goes with it. But no, I think he's just an all-round smart guy who has a great talent as a footballer. When
you manage certain players, similar ilk to Bukayo Saka, for example, what sets them differently than the rest? The fact that he's able to be so consistent, almost game in, game out. The only time he sort of had a dry spell was when Odegaard was injured, of course. But his fitness-wise, his availability, his consistency in delivery.
He's a manager's dream. He's exactly what you want, and almost like a unicorn. They're so rare to find, you know. So it's full credit to him, and also the way he's managed at the football club, I think, as well. I think if he wasn't as robust as he is, for sure, Mikel Arteta would be resting him in games and taking him off a lot earlier than he does in games. But he is that type of player who just keeps going and going and going. So I think probably as he gets older in his career, they maybe have to be a little bit more careful with him potentially, but at the moment, certainly, as I say... At the
moment, he's actually still fairly quite young.
Exactly, and he's just riding a wave at the moment, so sometimes you just let him go when they're doing that, and he's a joy to watch.
It's crazy to think that it was 6 years ago yesterday that he made his first team debut. He was 17 years old. I mean, his is still in his early 20s, and he can continue to break any record that he wants, because at this moment in time, 10 assists in the league. With 13 games in, the record for most assists in the Premier League season is 20. You're talking about Henry and Kevin De Bruyne's record. Do you think he'll go on to break that, Sharpie?
I think he's got every chance. Yeah, I think he'd probably break it a lot quicker as well if Arsenal had a sort of out-and-out goal scorer. I think Havertz does a good job there, but if they had a Haaland, he'd probably have broken that already.
Gary?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance, definitely. And we've talked about all the qualities that he's got, and we just heard in the interview he said, I'm just trying to improve all the time and get better all the time. And I still think there's more growth in him as well. I really do. The standards that he's hit already, I think he can go further.
When you talk about growth, what specifically do you mean? Like in terms of his game, or is that achievements?
Yeah, he's had more assists this season than he's ever had, so to speak. Yeah, so he's on target. So it's every aspect, isn't it? Can you score more? Can you provide more assists? Can you be more of a threat to the opponents? Can you do a better job defensively for your team? It's the game's always evolving, isn't it? And nobody's really been able to, I don't know what you think, Kit, on this one, but nobody's been really able to pin him down and stop him as such. Like a new player comes on the scene and second and third season, it's a bit of a struggle because people have worked him out a little bit. With Saka, nobody's managed to work him out. He's still achieves every time he plays or every season he plays.
Absolutely, and I said about him being a manager's dream. I think he's a teammate's dream as well, because he works so hard, he's so selfless, and which is part of the reason why he's getting so many assists. He genuinely sort of doesn't worry who scores. He said in the interview, it's about the team winning, and that he's very genuine when he says that. And a lot of players are quite selfish. They want to be the one to score, maybe. And I get that. That's not. I've got no problem with that at all. But he's not. He loves scoring goals, but he genuinely loves assisting as well. And you can see he's a great team player. And Arsenal are very lucky to have him.
Yeah, he's contracted to the club until 2027, I believe. But are they going to have trouble holding on to him if Arsenal don't win the major silverware soon?
Well, there'll be plenty of would-be takers, without a doubt. So. I don't think there's been no rumblings or anything at the moment at all about him leaving as such, and he's totally committed to the cause. You can clearly see that. But he is a winner. You can see it just in his makeup. As nice a boy as he is, he's an absolute winner as well, and he'll be wanting to win silverware for sure. So Arsenal, I feel, are improving. Every season on season, I think Arsenal are getting better. The problem with them, so as City had been, Liverpool are fantastic at the moment this year. I mean, you'd expect them to have a bit of a wobble at some stage because they've been so good and so consistent. But I do think Arsenal are continuing to get better, but they've got to start winning it sooner or later.
Well, we're going to get back to the conversation in a bit. Let's switch over to West Ham very quickly, Gary. We'll look at some of the goals in that first half.